Pecha Kucha 211, Inktober 2020, week 2. So typically when I'm doing my images, I take screenshots as I'm going. This week I was pretty much too in my own head to consistently remember to do that. I think I can tell stories that make sense about these images, but we'll see. I think it's probably been another good week. So last Sunday's word was slippery. Sorry, not slippery, it was disgusting. On looking into Ren and Stimpy, which played a major part in my childhood and still determines my sense of humour a fair amount, I discovered it's a bit more controversial than I would like. I always thought there was some urban myth about MTV episodes that were adult in nature, and it turns out it's true. So really I just decided, let's just draw Ren and Stimpy straight from an image, let's keep it clean and let's move on. I was going to do something far more degenerate, but by the time I was finished reading Wikipedia, I was just like, let's leave it. So the word on Monday was slippery, and this is probably the most esoteric I've ever been in my representation of one of the official words. I drew Judge Death chastising a man for being alive, because that's what he does. And he claims it's a slippery slope from being alive to breaking the law. Nobody's going to come after me for being quite so round the way with what the word is and what I chose to draw. I would also say that Judge Death cross-hatched strong blacks. This is exactly why I keep using the same tool set of black and white imagery and cross-hatching. So then the next word was dune. And I thought of many things, and then I just thought, I'm going to draw a picture of Kenshiro, and there's going to be in the background there will be a sand dune. But Kenshiro is the main character from my favouriteest anime everest, and the thing is, I put a lot of effort into it. I had a couple of reference images I was bouncing between, and I couldn't quite iron out all the details to get it where I wanted it to be. The irony is, I think that everything below the chin is great and everything above the chin not so much, and that's the opposite of how you want any image of a person to work. I came close to what I was going for, but the specificness of trying to draw Kenshiro's anime framed face with the cross-hatching, it was too much. I decided to follow this up with drawing Batman, which I've never really done well. Really, the word was armor, and I'm like, I can't just draw a Dark Souls suit of armor. So I was like, who's got plot armor? Who always wins, even though they should always lose? I know. It took me a while to get to Batman, actually, but I found that while I was trying to cross-hatch his face while looking at comic book images of him, it was a lot more work than I thought. I eventually got to a place where I'm happy with what it is, but it's still a pretty suspicious picture of Batman. But I like that. It's now it's my screensaver on my phone. I laughed out loud when I was finished with this, because it's like, I feel like there's a lot of semiotic stuff going on here for me when he's just like, hi there, I'm Batman, and it's like that means something to everyone, but it means something very specific to me. He's not supposed to smile, so why has he got that sinister smile going on? It's like, well, I don't know, because I thought it would be funny, and I'm pretty sure it is. So the next word was outpost, and I didn't really want to draw a bunch of soldiers in a building or anything, so I was just like, let's draw a Zaku too, because I've been meaning to draw like a Gundam or something forever. I had a reference of a toy and an actual image illustration that were basically the same pose, so I did several layers of drawing from those. This took about 3 times as long as it usually takes me to draw something. I'm trying to give this robot a sense of scale, and the line work, I want it to be tight enough that it feels like this thing is mechanically rendered. Have I achieved this? I feel like if you look at the tubing by the leg, yes. The proportions of his kneecaps are wrong, because I did a lot of rescaling, or at least I think I did, so the perspective isn't quite right, and I didn't really want to do a background. I've been doing a lot of this just people standing in spotlights thing this week, but honestly, no one's here for background. So then the next word of the week was rocket, and I was like, yeah, I thought of a lot of things, and I thought, fuck it, let's just draw Team Rocket from the Pokemans. Not especially happy to have to draw 3 people in one image because I'm lazy like that. And anime characters are deceptively, they're not complicated, but if you put the lines in the wrong place, you get it wrong. So I did a couple of underdrawings, and then I like with a lot of these, I just hoped when I came to adding the ink, I would just put the right line in the right place. I feel like, considering how little respect I have for Team Rocket as an idea notion or as characters, I couldn't really be asking for more than this. And like I said when I originally posted, Meowth looks suspicious for no discernible reason. I just didn't want to draw him looking like he was happy, because what is this, the Disney Channel? No. Okay, so Saturday's word was storm, and I was like, you know what, it doesn't always have to be the third thing down the list. I immediately thought of the X-Men character Storm. Where I really struggled was what to put her in, because she has so many iconic costumes and I don't want to draw any of them because they're either complicated or they're risque or they're both. I thought I'd make it more about the storm, so I made it super dark and you can't even see her face or really anything. It's more of a mood piece than it's a detail piece, which is kind of the opposite of what I've been doing. I put a darkened version of it on Tumblr, and then when it was there I was like, this is too dark, so I took some of the darkness off and put it on Instagram, and then it was too bloody bright because I took a picture of my screen, because for Instagram and its square shaped canvas size thing for the images, I'm like, I'm not creating canvases just for Instagram, fuck that. So what happened is her electric hands and stuff plus the screen glare of my Cintiq made it look super bright on Instagram. But I'm just like, what am I going to do? Do I care? No, I don't. So let's move on. That's pretty much, I guess, the sad clown of the week. I've been in a complete media blackout just by coincidence. I don't know what's going on in the world. I just had a look outside the window. It's still there, which means I guess I'll see you next week. That brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 211. See ya.